And I don't know if this has happened to you, where I would say something and then a guy would say the same thing.
Yeah, they would
and
be taken
everybody
seriously and we wouldn't.
I'd be like, hey, I just said that 5 seconds ago. And I would be like, so I think this also happens in a lot of like corporate scenarios and
Yes.
things. So I feel like the good thing is people are breaking gender stereotypes.
Yes, of course.
Yo, by the way, I can also do this.
Yeah,
And then
ama.
and then that blew my mind. And I was like, what is there in the chorus?
Oh, that's nice.
எல்லாரோட கதறலும் அங்க இருக்கு. பாராத கண்ணும் தாரார தாரா இதோ மது தாரத்தா வரவே.
You've made your debut as a composer. I wanted to ask, now I was like Googling, எத்தனை female composers இருக்காங்கன்னா, literally I can count with my fingers. And அவங்களுமே like, they've done 10 films, few films here and there. ஒரு sustained career, ஒரு big filmography or discography of composers இருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கிறது இல்லை. Why do you think that's the case? As actors, women in the film industry, we've come a long way. We have a long way to go, but we've come a long way. Even technicians, other technicians, ஓரளவுக்கு கொஞ்சம் singers கேட்கவே வேண்டாம், நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. But composers வரப்போ, why is that? They're not being encouraged. What do you think?
So how long have you been doing this?
Me? Oh, like 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen a female camera person?
None, never.
Yeah. How many interviews would you have done?
A lot, yeah, at least.
At least 600?
Yeah. No, அவ்வளோலாம் இல்லை, but okay.
நீங்க பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா ப்ரோ ஃபீமேல் கேமரா பர்சன்? பார்த்திருக்கீங்களா? எவ்வளோ பேர்? இங்கே சென்னையில் இதுவே பெரிய விஷயம். I think. Yeah. Not பெரிய விஷயம். Actually, it should be more, but I'm happy. I'm yet to meet a female editor.
Yeah.
I mean, I know girls who edit.
I know one female film editor. That's it.
Exactly. So I feel it's not. What I'm trying to say is, or if you look at chefs,
yeah,
right, like any like cooking show,
really
reality show,
a lot of men
around the world,
yeah,
you would think, oh my God, women are good in the kitchen. This is one occupation where we would have overpopulated.
But business
I completely crushed it, right? Like why not? Man, okay, so I feel like what the larger point I'm trying to make is, I don't think it is industry specific, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you look at the gaming sector, if you look at founders in tech, if you look at like so many different fields, it is changing though massively all around the world. It's a huge movement.
Kandipa.
There is definitely within the corporate world, of course, it is unfortunate how a lot of people also may not. There are biases, there are stigma where a woman may not be promoted or given a certain position because they might think, oh, she might get married and have a baby, and so
she'll have to take a leave and
yeah.
that. And this,
so they may not put them in a, and this, because I feel we might be overly accommodating and we may not want to interrupt someone, we may not want to cut someone else
yeah.
And I don't know if this has happened to you, where I would say something and then a guy would say the same thing.
Yeah, they would be taken seriously and we wouldn't.
I'd be like, hey, I just said that 5 seconds ago. And I would be like, so I think this also happens in a lot of like corporate scenarios and things. So I feel like I'm not ஐயோ இது எப்படி நான் அழகா சொல்றது, அழகான்னு இல்லை, I mean in a positive way, because I feel the good thing is people are breaking gender stereotypes.
Yes, of course. 10 years ago, ஏதோ ஒரு இன்டர்வியூல நீங்க சொல்லியிருந்தீங்க, you wake up listening to MS on one side and ABBA on the other, which is polarizingly super opposite. So my question is, you were also someone 13 years ago, you were learning both Carnatic music and jazz or என்னமோ கத்துட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன், or pop music, I'm not too sure.
I've never learned jazz. I've just always been interested.
Right.
And I think, I mean, when I was a kid, my appa used to play MS Subbulakshmi's UN concert, like Naraivati and the album, and the cassette கேட்டிருக்கேன். அப்புறம் they had like ABBA, Bonnie M, இந்த மாதிரி cassettesலாம், அப்புறம் ஒரு Smurf cassette. So that was my introduction to like English music or Western music. And then when I was in high school, my brother picked up these Grammy nominees and the mixtapes mari kadakku.
Right, yeah.
So that's when I first heard U2. I heard like Moby, all of these artists, and I was like, so that was like my intro. And I think 10th, around that time, a cousin of mine gifted me Nora Jones's Come Away With Me.
Yeah.
And then that blew my mind. And I was like, what is this?
Right.
So I feel like and I had a phase where I really like metal music.
Okay. So
and I
been
feel like
everywhere. Nanekkaren.
I went to a festival in Chennai. It was called Two Bloody Nights,
Okay.
which was like all the metal heads.
Oh, right.
So, but I feel I felt like there are so many different emotions I feel. I mean, we all feel, and I feel like at different times, it was like my way of mirroring whatever I was feeling, whichever kind of music, or like super like alternative, I don't know, rock, like what Steven Wilson would be playing, or like Porcupine Tree and like progressive, but like also like it would feel very larger than life, but also like very deep. So I don't know, like a drop floating in an ocean, maybe. Like something so intimate but also so big.
Big, yeah.
So அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய emotions I've been able to discover through different I feel
Artists.
like through different artists, through different styles of music, all of that. And I feel like all of them, இப்போ now when I look back, I feel like they've all been with me when I've been able, like Arena is a completely different track, or Lullaby is like
completely different.
And then Hope
I think
is
adha
very
neenga
different. And then Broken Glass is different.
When you
Broken
started,
Glass
you
is also
said
Akshay. Yeah.
When you started, you said different genres la அந்த பாட்டு அமைஞ்சிருக்கு பாட்டுகள் எல்லாமே அமைஞ்சிருக்கு. I think that's a sum up of what you've grown up listening to.
Yeah.
That also obviously influences how we compose and all that. But நிறையா again when you speak about your influences or inspirations, நீங்க எல்லாரும் ஈஸ்வரி நிறையா சொல்லியிருக்கீங்க முன்னாடி. What is one song you would love to sing of hers, like now, if I just ask you?
I've sung Balanginalar Malige many times.
Could you, like 2 lines for us?
Yes.
Yeah.
That, and actually, in fact, there's another song called Vara Vendum. I feel like I would probably want to sing that.
Whichever, your comfort, yeah.
Vara Vendum ஒரு பொழுது வராமல் இருந்தால் ஓ விடை தெரியாது கேளாமல் நீயும் வராமலே நானும் ஒரே நேரம் ஒரே இடம் இருந்தென்ன பாராத கண்ணும் தாரார தாரா இதோ மது தாரத்தா.
That's so good.
It'll go like that. It was so good. Oh my god, I'm like getting goosebumps just thinking of it.
Oh, and I met Shakthisree ma'am, and she's such a woman of like power. Right? Oh, she's amazing for her age and everything. And again, innonu kekkanum appadina, when you started your career, you were singing a lot of songs that were of a particular type. Like typecasting na solluvom actors ta. Do you think you were kind of typecast as a singer?
Yeah,
because
I think it applies for singers and for actors.
Yeah, like did you ever think, why am I always selected for such songs? So why am I not like selected for like a melody appdinu enikadu yosichirkingla? And how did you deal with that, Appo?
So I don't think my approach was why was I not selected for this, or why was I not selected? I would be like, I can also sing this. Give me a shot. Like I would be like, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people would also see what you allow them to see, or like make their assessment on what you give off, right?
Yeah.
So I was making some jazz comps, and I was like sharing them on Reverb Nation at the time. Or எனக்கு இருந்த demo CDs la there was some like pop English songs that I had written with a friend, and எல்லாமே ஒரிஜினல் காம்போசிஷன்ஸ் இந்த மாதிரி டெமோ சிடி மாதிரி பண்ணி அதில் வந்து ஒரு ஜாஸ் காம்போசிஷன் இருந்தது. அது எல்லாமே it was very close to my speaking range. So obviously when people would speak with me, they would be like, item song correct-ஆ இருக்கும். Maybe they would have thought, right? I mean, I can't blame them. I sound like this, and I'm like, of course, if I have like a jazz track in this. But at the same time, I feel like that's where, even with actors, if somebody looks a certain way, I feel as artists, we should be curious. Okay, this is the obvious, but what is a not obvious?
அதுதான் நான் சொல்றேன்.
I wonder what else they can do. I wish if we all thought more like that, we would be surprised what we would discover, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that would be the fun thing. And I think I have maybe over the years, earlier I used to be like, oh, why is it happening to me like this? Good things and bad things. But then I have like learned to dissociate and be like, okay, these things are happening. So if now someone, I think it can also be up to me.
Right.
To be like, yo, by the way, I can also do this.
Yeah,
And then
ama.
it's no biggie, right? I feel like unless we tell, people may not know. And at
Yeah,
the same
that's
time,
also-
I was so, like, I can't even say fortunate.
Mhm.
I can't even say like I can thank the stars and the universe and the whole world and everything that be. But I'm really, really, really boundlessly grateful to Rahman sir.
Of course.
I gave him the same demo CD, but I
Yeah.
feel like he was.
What he took
I
away
feel
from
like
that.
he heard my spirit. I don't know how else to say that.
Amma.
And
That's
I
your
would have
break, la, yeah.
never even imagined like for a song
Yeah.
like Nenjukulle,
Nenjukulle,
that was like, and sir also knew it. It was like in like a higher register.
Ah.
But then he was like, you can do it. And I feel like it's
That made a hell of a lot of a difference. Of course,
I
it
mean,
did.
I don't think I can speak enough of it. I think again I will take
Tani interview எடுக்கணுமா?
But I think it's really awesome. And I remember there was when Chekachan Vanam was happening.
Bhumi.
Sid Sriram and me,
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
both waiting outside the studio. I heard these mad beats. So at that time I thought, oh, Kandipa Sid down and stuff. And I think he sang Praptam, no, in that. I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he sang it in Telugu
Yeah.
at that time. And so the engineer came out and called me, and I was like,
என்னையா?
huh?
What song?
I'm like, are you sure? But I feel like that's the most awesome thing. I feel like Rahman sir is always like questioning the norms, whatever it is,
Out
always
of the
like
box.
breaking the boundaries, reinventing things, redefining things all the time. I'm eternally in awe of him. And I feel like it's something that all artists can learn from and take inspiration from. And the bigger thing, right? We shouldn't typecast ourselves.
True.
And I feel like we shouldn't
That's
have
where
to
it
be
should
like
start actually. I can do more than this. நம்ம நம்பினாதான் மத்தவங்க நம்புவாங்கன்னு நான்
100%.
நினைக்கிறேன்.
And I think we don't have to limit ourselves.
Absolutely.
And we don't have to be இவ்வளோ நாள் நம்ம இது பண்ணிருக்கலாம். நாளைக்கே நம்ம புதுசா ஒன்று பண்ணக்கூடாது. Have we tried?
Yeah.
இல்ல like sometimes இல்ல எனக்கு டான்ஸ் வராது அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம சொல்லிப்போம். But what if we take the opportunity?
True.
Maybe we never had the opportunity to learn like note to self. Like okay, even if people might typecast us, how can we take it upon ourselves to maybe we can start putting more content out there and saying I can also do this. I can, if we are that. It is also completely okay
To stick to that
be one thing
box.
and to be like, hey, this is me. I'm comfortable doing this. That's also. I think we just have to stay honest to ourselves.
And that's a choice at the end of the day. Right. So,
Or rather, sorry, if
No
we are
problem.
being honest to ourselves, I think it's a lot more. If you're able to do that, it takes a lot of courage, but I think it's worthwhile.
right. கடைசியா கேட்கணும் அப்படின்னா you've made your debut, you're on the stage, so இன்னும் because you're already an architect and பாடுறீங்க இப்போ composing, so இன்னும் ஏதாவது ட்ரீம்ஸ் இருக்கா? எனக்கு இன்னும் ட்ரை பண்ணணும். of course you have like your whole life ahead, but I still have these things to try அப்படின்னு ஏதாவது இருக்கா? நிறைய இருக்கா?
So over the last couple of years I've also been working on an immersive interactive art installation. It's more like an immersive interactive sonic experience.
Okay.
It's like an art installation.
Okay.
And there's like a physical
space
version of it and also like a virtual version of this.
Okay.
So I've been building this out and we actually showcased, we did the physical installation in Bangalore last December.
Oh, nice.
At a festival called the Bangalore Habba. So we set it up in a 150-year-old space, which was amazing.
Oh, wow.
And Pona Varsho, I think I was part of this hackathon in San Francisco and I built out the virtual version of this.
So what does this do, if I may ask?
So it's called Sound Garden. Essentially, it's a way for people to interact with sound through space and through spatial navigation. So imagine if there are like lights that are suspended. Like imagine you walk into a room, there are like stars. And people would go and approach and touch different stars and they trigger different audio samples.
Right.
And it's like, so this is something that I started off working on as, I wanted this to be my final project as part of grad school.
Okay.
And the original seed of this I had been wanting to do from 2013.
Okay,
but
that's
at
a long
that time,
time
I think like it was the curve was too steep.
Okay.
Let me just put it that way. And I was doing other things. But I feel like this is a natural evolution of my journey as an architect because it allows me, or like this is my medium to play with like space and sound.
Right.
And a lot of times I wished people would be able to play with sound because we feel, oh, I don't know how to play this instrument. I don't know how to play this instrument.
Yeah.
But imagine if there was a canvas and people could just dip their fingers in different paint,
Yeah.
put in the corners, and if they all made that painting together.
Right.
I'm
Right.
hoping to give people that same experience but with sound.
Okay.
If that
Very
makes any
interesting.
sense.
Very, very
So
interesting.
I'm trying to curate the different colors that they can paint the canvas with, and how all
So if they also feel like they can do music.
something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like it would be so nice to get people to play,
Mm-hmm.
however old or young they are, like that they can just play, and we all know how to do this, like
Yeah.
through walk through space and like be in awe or like feel magic or like நம்ம முன்னாடி எல்லாம் வந்து when we go to playground we see some kid அப்படியே ஒரு பால் தட்டி விடுவோம், அவங்க இங்க தட்டி விடுவாங்க. We don't have to
Yeah.
talk. நீங்க யாரு இது? We don't have to ask
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
None
Yeah.
of
We
these
just
things.
play. Yeah. That's it.
And I feel like we don't get to do that
ஆமா.
as much. As we grow older, we are like, okay. அந்த மாதிரி I wish we would get more and more
All right.
opportunities.
So the last thing, this is a fan request from my side,
Okay.
if I can. My favorite song of yours is Kannada Rasati. If you can just sing 2 lines for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished one question fully.
Or you can answer and then we can end it on the high note.
So what I was gonna say is, the album has 7 songs.
Mm-hmm.
The songs I have sung are Hope, Lullaby, and Fall of the Hero.
Mm.
And the remix is a remix of Hope.
Okay.
I actually did re-sing the whole thing because we did it in a different BPM. But again, எனக்கு வந்து actually my secret wish was either if the main hope was not Pradeep, I wanted the remix to be Pradeep. But then once this became the thing, we like
Kind of.
ஆனா என்னோட சீக்ரெட் ஆசை அதுதான். Maybe I
You can still do it. We would be happy to listen to Pradeep's version of your song.
maybe we can manifest it later.
Yeah, please do.
And, like, but he's one of my favorite vocalists. Not just vocalists, it's just favorite artists of all time.
Yeah, mine too.
Incredible artist. And with the song called Broken Glass, it's Akshay Yashoda.
Yeah,
It's like a very like rock, like raw,
Yeah.
like visceral emotions kind of song. அதுமே வந்து I had actually sung the demo. Then அப்புறம் நான் நிறைய vocal processing எல்லாம் பண்ணி அப்படியே ஒரு exorcist. அவ்வளோ மோசமா இல்லை, அப்படி ஆனாலும் I made it like sound not
raw.
like you know, feminine and all of that. But that was an obvious choice. Like that had to be a guy like singing that. Not just a guy, like somebody who could like அது வந்து actually we tried like some at least 6, me included, 6 different vocalists.
Okay.
And I feel everybody's screams is there in the chorus.
Oh, that's nice.
எல்லாரோட கதறலும் அங்க இருக்கு. But I feel like Akshay was finally the right choice. He's also an actor and he was able to like really put himself in those shoes. And also it's like casting also. Like அவங்களுடைய வாய்ஸ்க்குன்னு ஒரு படைப்பு இருக்கும். அது வந்து இந்த கேரக்டருக்கு are we able to imagine? Correct. Or like for the kind of character that you know
அது suiting the character னு இருக்குல. Yeah.
அந்த ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்கு. So அந்த மாதிரி like we tried that. So 3 songs வந்து அமைஞ்சது.
Right.
But my original thing would have been mainly only the lullaby perhaps and the fall of the hero. And the fall of the hero வந்து Arinaoda chorus goes oh, it was like I thought it should sound like a whole stadium of people singing. And for fall of the hero it is it's like a flip
of
side
that.
of this.
Yeah.
And Arina is like so rich and colorful and celebratory. There's Tamil Mridangam, like these the arrangement wise and everything, it's like so
cheerful
festive.
And like adrenaline push madri.
Summer festival irukku. Fall of the hero is like
melancholic.
And it's like the flip side of this, it's like only strings and vocals. And now the opening la konjam in the Bulgarian choral voices ala inspire aayi konjam I just did an arrangement and I sent it to my friend Ritu who's arranged the strings on that, and I was like, hey, what do you think? And he was like, oh, this really works, it sounds cool. And it was like so much fun. And we also recorded the Budapest orchestra on the strings and like the choral ensemble there and the Indian choral ensemble here. So adellame that like feeling of so many voices, like almost like voices mourning அந்த மாதிரி. That is a feeling that I wanted to try and get. So,
right. Very interesting. The thought behind every song, very, very interesting.
I just had to like
explain it. Yeah.
Now I shall sing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I loved listening to that live. Thank you so much.
Thank
But
you. It was
I
so
think,
nice to sing that after so long.
oh, wow. I'm happy. I made you also happy. Wonderful conversation. We நிறைய இடத்துக்கு போயிட்டு actually had a lot more questions, but your answers were so interesting. I didn't want to interrupt you or like, you know, cut down on those answers for some other questions. So I'm
No,
like,
but
I
this was
want to.
very cool. Like you had so many real questions and very interesting questions.
Right.
Thank you so
But
much. I really
thank you
enjoyed
so much for being like, I don't know, such a sport and opening up so much to me. It was a wonderful conversation. Extrovert, I guess. So yeah, thank you so much. But all the very best for your career. I wish to see you compose for so many more films so that I can have so many more such conversations with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is so nice.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too.